Hello, friends and neighbors. Dr. Ken Berry here, hanging out with you on a rainy afternoon in Tennessee. There's crazy stuff going on all around the world. Our thoughts and prayers to our friends down in Alabama, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina. I know you guys are having it rough right now. It's a pleasure to be with all of you guys this afternoon. Let's hang out and let's talk about medicine and nutrition and what's going on in the world, why we're getting such crazy mixed messages, and what we can do about it. I'll be answering your questions. I'll be talking about things going on in the world. As your questions bring up subjects, we will definitely discuss them. There's so many topics. We'll try not to get too deep into politics, but here of late, health and nutrition has somehow become a political topic. Not sure how that happens. Health and nutrition are based on biology and physiology and biochemistry. They shouldn't have anything at all to do with politics, but somehow, suddenly, these topics have become political. And so if you have questions about that, I'm happy to answer that, keeping in mind that I never express any political beliefs or views or try to sway you in any political way. It's not my goal, it's not my job. Don't currently have any interest in that. Good afternoon, everyone. Cordelia in New York. There's Lynn. Here's Helen all the way around in New Zealand, other side of the world. Good evening, I guess. Hey, Holly, there you are. Good to see you, my friend. If you guys have any questions, type your question into the comments. Keep it as short as you can while including all relevant information. I think YouTube limits how many characters you can type in. Israel says, can you have a low white blood cell count and be on a carnivore diet? Yeah. A carnivore diet is on the proper human diet spectrum. If you are a human being, then you are going to benefit from eating a proper human diet. If you decide you want to eat only meat, eggs, and seafood, that's carnivore. If you want to add some low-carb vegetables, a few low-carb nuts, and some berries, that's keto. That's a proper human diet. Anywhere on that spectrum. I don't know if anybody in the Southeast United States has much cell service right now. I'm not sure if you're in Florida or Alabama, South Carolina, Georgia, and you're watching. Tell us hi and where you're watching from. I hope you're trying to stay safe. This is an unfortunate thing. Alex says, hello from Utah. The more I learn about food and nutrition, the more I realize how everything is related to politics. It's unfortunate. And it shouldn't be this way at all. Right, Alex? It's not political what cows should eat. They should eat grass. It's not political what sheep should eat. They should eat grass and weeds and tree leaves. That's what they eat. Same for goats. No animal in the wild, there's no political party that has to come forward and say these animals have a right to eat proper squirrel food or proper deer food. They just eat the foods that make them healthy. It's only humans and the few species of animal that are closely related to humans, like dogs and cats. Then you start to get political. You have people doing things like putting their cat on a vegan diet. Cats are obligate carnivores. If you don't feed your cat a carnivore diet, they will get sick. They will have kidney disease. They'll go blind. They'll have type 2 diabetes. They'll get fat. They'll die early. They'll suffer from inflammation and die early. That's just pet abuse. Pretty much the same thing goes for dogs. Dogs have been around us so long in a co-domestication situation that they can handle some starches. They can handle stuff like that a little bit better than cats can, but they're still facultative carnivores. The majority of their diet should be meat. And the degree, if you're trying to feed your dog a vegan diet, you're a pet abuser. I'm sorry if that offends you, but that's just what it is. So if it's so easy to call out animal abuse when somebody's feeding a cat a vegan kibble diet or feeding their dog a vegan kibble diet, that's easy to say, yeah, that's animal abuse. You can't do that. It'd be like if you took a cow and tried to feed it meat only, or meat at all. That would be animal abuse. So answer me this. Why is it not animal abuse when corporations like Kellogg's and Mondelez and Kraft Heinz and General Mills and Post, when they trick people into thinking, they fool people. They lie to people and make them think, oh, eating just grains, that's good for me. Yeah, it's low in fat, no cholesterol. They add some sugar, but I mean, if you didn't add sugar to corn flakes or rice puffs, they would taste like crap. You got to add some sugar. Why isn't that animal abuse? When they trick kids into bugging their parents to buy Frosted Flakes or Lucky Charms, why isn't that child abuse? I don't know. Just a question, just a thought. What do you think about that? Is when you feed a cat a vegan diet, is that pet abuse? Is that animal abuse? If you make your cow or your sheep eat meat, that's animal abuse, right? That's not their diet. Well, a diet that's 80% grains and beans, that's not a proper human diet for any human being of any age that's currently alive on planet Earth. Humans are mammals. Mammals are animals. Is that animal abuse? Please tell me in the comments. Now, if you do ask me a question, please do me a favor and put 3 capital Qs at the beginning of the question so that I can see that you're asking a question, not just making a comment. This may actually be true from Antique Action Figure. Dog kibble is healthier for humans than Fruit Loops. I mean, especially if it was canned dog food that contains some meat, will 100% be better for you to eat than Fruit Loops or Lucky Charms. 100%. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Here's a question from Juan Pablo. Thanks for all you do. Can you tell me what quantity you might recommend for electrolytes? I've been on for a month and I think I might be under. So electrolytes are magnesium, potassium, sodium, and chloride. Those are the main 4. There's a few other elements that serve an electrolyte type thing in the human body, but those are the main 4. Keep in mind, meat has all of those electrolytes in it. Seafood has all of those electrolytes. Eggs have all of those electrolytes in them. Some people, especially if you work out and sweat, or if you actually work and sweat, you might need a little extra electrolytes. And so I'm a big fan of LMNT electrolytes. I'm a big fan of Redmond's Relight electrolytes. There's Ultima. There's several different ones that have different formulations and different flavors. I would highly encourage you to get the unflavored one. There's no reason to be drinking things that are sweet just because they're sweet. You're not an 8-year-old. You're an adult. You don't need everything you drink to be sweet. Faith and Hope has a question. Faith and Hope, one kidney here. I thought the doctors warned on high protein, but don't remember. They probably did. This is something that doctors have been getting wrong for at least 20 years. There is no research at all that shows that a adequate protein diet or a high protein diet is bad for your kidneys, harmful for your kidneys, or even hard on your kidneys. If any of you guys have chronic kidney disease, or if you're like Faith and Hope and you only have one kidney, whether you were born that way or whether you had a kidney taken out due to cancer or something else, you want to protect your remaining kidney function like gold in the bank. The way you do that is by eating a very low-carb diet. Sugar will destroy your kidneys, okay? Elevated blood sugar will decimate your remaining kidney function. There is no research that shows that eating a diet full of healthy animal protein is going to harm your kidneys in any way. Indeed, we've got hundreds of people in our private community who came to us with either stage 1, stage 2, or stage 3 chronic kidney disease. And there's several people in there with only one kidney. And they had some degree of kidney failure, chronic kidney disease, until they started eating more meat and eggs and seafood and cut out completely the high carb, sugar, and grains and beans. Their kidney function got better on the higher protein diet. Didn't get worse, it got better. So there are still doctors out there, even though there's no reason for them to be saying this, they'll say, oh, you got to cut back on the animal protein. That's hard on your kidneys. This is ignorant. If your doctor says that, your doctor is ignorant with respect to that. There's no other option. They don't know what they're talking about. And anytime a doctor isn't sure, they should keep their mouth shut. That's what should happen. And so I would recommend Faith and Hope that next time you see your doctor, ask them. And if they say, oh, yeah, I don't eat too much animal protein, then ask them, well, show me the research that proves that. This is a myth I've been trying to dispel since 2003. When I first looked it up on the internet at the Berry Clinic, I'm like, why did people keep coming back from the specialists saying this? And I looked it up, and even then there were board certified nephrologists, kidney specialists saying, why the hell do doctors keep saying this? There's no truth in this. It's just, it's maddening. Cindy, what do you do to stop losing weight? So Cindy's question assumes what many of us have been taught to assume, is that our body is an idiot. Our physiology is stupid. It doesn't know what to do. We have to go on a diet to trick it to lose weight. But then at some point when we've lost enough weight, we probably need to change something. No, Cindy, you don't. A proper human diet, a ketogenic diet, a ketovore diet, or a carnivore diet, they are not weight loss diets. They are weight optimization diets. If you're overweight or obese, they're going to help you lose weight. If you're underweight, they're going to help you gain weight. Eating a proper human diet moves you towards your ideal body weight. When you get close to your ideal body weight, the weight loss will slow down and then stop eventually. It's like your body is intelligent and very wise and very ancient. It's like it's done this for millions of years. It kind of knows what to do as long as you're eating the right food. Isn't that cool? So you're not going to just keep losing weight. You're not going to have to go back and add carbohydrates back into your diet to stop the weight loss. Your body's not going to let you lose weight down to an unhealthy degree on a proper human diet. It'll stop that weight loss when it's time. Good question. Bug says, will fasting help with eczema? Not only will fasting help with eczema, but a ketogenic diet, a ketovore diet, or a carnivore diet will also help your eczema. I've got a YouTube video about eczema and atopic dermatitis. It's very, very intimately linked with hyperinsulinemia, chronically high insulin levels. And when you eat a low enough carbohydrate diet, that's going to lower your insulin back down. But also, you're going to eliminate all the grains and all the inflammatory legumes Grains and beans, for the vast majority of people, are at least to some degree inflammatory. For some people, much more inflammatory. If that doesn't fix the eczema after you've eliminated the rice, beans, corn, wheat, soybean, then you're going to stop all the dairy except for butter and ghee. And I've yet to see a case of eczema when somebody did that, it didn't get either 90% better or go completely away. Mary, again, Mary's got the assumption that her body is not that smart. This is not just Mary in our previous questioner. This is the average person out in society. They're like, my body doesn't know anything about it. I don't know anything about food. How can my body know? We have to listen to our experts. We have to listen to the Harvard School of Public Health and Tufts School of Nutrition. We don't know anything about this. Mary, you can eat as many eggs a day as you want. Okay? My friend Nick Norwitz just ate 720 eggs in 1 month. And he didn't die. Not only did he not die, but he didn't get sick. And not only did he not get sick, but his total cholesterol went down. He ate 720 eggs in 1 month. If you want 1 egg a day, that's fine. Eat 1 egg a day. If you want 12 eggs a day, that's fine. Eat 12 eggs a day. Eat as many eggs as you're craving. Okay, eggs are firmly on the proper human diet spectrum. They are, if you can find pastured eggs where the hens were allowed to eat bugs and worms and grass seed and other stuff. Eggs are a superfood. Now, if they're raised in the factory farming thing, they're still great for you. They're still better than Fruit Loops or Lucky Charms, but they're not as good as pastured eggs. And I'll guarantee you that all 2,000 of you guys watching this, within 10 miles of your house, there's somebody who has 5, 10, 20 hens, chickens in their backyard that you could absolutely buy 2 dozen eggs from them once a week. You just got to find them. Find them on your social media. Make a post and say, hey, you guys know anybody who sells farm fresh eggs? Guaranteed. Good questions, you guys. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Good question from Alexis. Carnivore for a year, but my weight is now 128 pounds. I'm 5'10", 57 years of age. My BMI is about 18.4. Should I be worried? No. And here, with the only caveat that, Alexis, are you eating until you're comfortably stuffed each time you eat a meal? Whether you eat 1 meal a day, 2 meals a day, or 3 meals a day. Eat until you're comfortably stuffed. Then stop eating. If you're doing that, then this is the ideal body weight for you. For so many people in modern society, because there's so much overweight and obesity around us, when you see a woman that's 5'10" and weighs 128 pounds, they look skinny, they look bony, they look like they're sick. That's a normal shaped human being, my friends. Alexis is a normal shaped 57-year-old woman. 5'10", 128 pounds. Yeah. If you went back in time to 1920 or 1880 or 1810, and if there was a woman that was 5'10", because that'd be pretty rare back then, she would weigh about 100, 125, 130 pounds. Because overweight was not a thing back then. You'd have to search all day to find one person that was overweight. And if you were obese back in 1810, you could work for the circus and make good money. That's how rare it was. This is a great question, and this question really pisses me off. I want to know what you guys think about this in the comments. Sandra says, what can we do about how the world pushes this stuff on our kids? We're just one person. I totally agree. So the first thing you have to understand, you have to be a little stoic about this. You and I, Sandra, we can't save everybody, but we can do the best we can do, right? So what are we to do? The kids are in school. The school breakfast and the school lunch that they feed them is shit. There's vending machines in the hall. They can go get a honey bun or some Oreo cookies anytime they want. They can get a Coca-Cola anytime they want. How do we fight against that? Well, part of the way we do that is with shame. When it comes to the schools, who are the members of your school board in your county or your city, Sandra? Do you know? You should probably know. When does your school board meet? You don't know? Maybe you should know, because maybe you should show up at a school board meeting, because the reason there are vending machines in the hall, of course, the kids are saying, hey, we want vending machines, but guess what? We don't let kids vote. They don't get a vote, right? They can't vote until they're 18, can't drive till they're 16. They can't, kids don't get a vote because they're kids. They're dumb. I was a kid. I was dumb. I would have totally said, hey, I want honey buns in here. They don't get to decide. The school board decides that. Go to your school board and shame them, because the reason those vending machines are there so the school can make money. They might use it for this sports team or that sports team or this trip or whatever. There's other ways to raise money that are not going to give the kids prediabetes and make the kids overweight and make the kids have fatty liver before they even graduate high school. Right? What about the kids at your church? First thing we can all do is lead by example. Right, Sandra? We can conduct ourselves in a way that make other people notice and go, wow, Sandra, she used to not look so healthy, but she looks so healthy now. She looks so happy, looks so mentally balanced now, that she's out here, she's going to school board meetings. Every time we have a potluck at the church, she brings a proper human diet dish. And then maybe, just maybe, when they have a church meeting, you might go and say, we got several kids here who are obese. We got some kids here who have really, really poor dental health. We got some kids here who never get good food at home because their parents don't know better. Maybe church should be a place where we not only feed the spirit, but we also feed their body proper human diet food, proper human food. Maybe. There's a million different ways. Do you have a family that lives down the block from you who can't afford their own SNAP benefits and WIC? Take them some food. Charity begins at home, but it can also be very active down the street as well. That's just a few ideas. I'd love to hear your guys' ideas in the comments. Carnivore Santa says, can iodine help get the thyroid working properly? Well, iodine can get your entire body working properly. You may not know this, Carnivore Santa. I like that beard, by the way. Every cell in the human body needs iodine regularly. Everybody thinks about the thyroid gland when you say iodine. The thyroid gland does concentrate and store iodine. Your salivary glands, your spit glands, concentrate iodine. Mammary tissue, and yes, I have mammary tissue too. All humans, male and female. Women just have more. Concentrates iodine, but every cell in your body, this cell right here in my right thumb, that little cell needs iodine in order not to die. Everybody needs a good source of iodine. Now, I've got a YouTube video about 7 iodine-rich foods that you can eat and get your iodine from that, but some people don't like those foods. So they need to supplement with some iodine. It's very important. I think my last A1C was 5.5, which is normal. And so I don't think we checked the fructosamine level. Nisha and I actually did a video a few months back, and we talked about all our labs and showed all our labs inside of our private community and answered a ton of questions. I think my A1C was 5.5. I'm very happy with that. My A1C used to be 6.1. So I'm very happy with the 5.5. So I don't think I checked the fructosamine, but I might have. I can't remember. Dr. Greger, Jen says, Dr. Greger, how not to diet. So Dr. Greger is a very prominent vegan proponents. He is a medical doctor. He graduated from medical school, but to my knowledge, he never practiced medicine. I don't know if he's ever seen a single patient as a doctor. I'm happy to be proven wrong, but I think that's the case. But he fervently believes that a vegan diet is the healthiest diet you can eat. And even Dr. Greger will tell you, you've got to take a handful of supplements if you're going to be on a vegan diet. I'd love to have Dr. Greger. I'd love to interview him on this channel. I think it would be a fun conversation. What do you guys think about that? Should I try to get Dr. Greger? Hilly Sue's, why am I always hungry after a hard, sweaty workout? It's physiology. You know how all the doctors tell you if you want to lose weight that you need to eat less and move more? Well, guess what? When you move more, it makes you hungrier. So they're telling you to starve yourself. Don't eat as much food as you want. And then also work out, which is going to make you hungrier. That's why everybody's failed with eat less, move more. Anytime you work out, it's going to stimulate your hunger. That's normal physiology. Lucy Lou, my 35-year-old son had a stroke. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Does he have to take an awful statin for the rest of his life? No, he doesn't. The research that your doctor will say, oh yes, take this Zocor or Lipitor Crestor, it'll prevent another stroke. The research is actually pitiful, supporting that contention, that belief. Pitiful. If your son doesn't want to take the statin, if he's having side effects, he doesn't have to take the statin. That doctor is not his daddy. That doctor is not his boss. This goes for all you guys. Your doctor is just your learned health partner. That's what your doctor is. Just like you would go to an accountant. And if that accountant said, okay, here, I looked at your finances, you need to do this, this, and this. Do you have to do that? Most people they understand it when it comes to an accountant. They'd be like, no, that's right. You can go somewhere else if you don't like what that accountant said. If your mechanic says, oh, you need a new engine and a new transmission, do you have to do that? No. You can be like, screw you. I think you're trying to fleece me. I'm going somewhere else. You can do that with your doctor as well. Your doctor gives you their learned advice based on what they know, or sometimes what they think they know. You're the one who decides whether you follow that advice or not. Even if you're in prison on death row, you have the right to refuse medicine. In the United States, at least. Now, other countries, I don't know. Let's see. Dottie's World, can carnivore help my sciatica? So the answer is maybe. It depends on why you're having sciatic pain. Sometimes this can be due to an anatomical issue that you need to talk to a surgeon about. Sometimes this is an acute inflammatory event. But if your sciatica is caused by chronic inflammation, then almost certainly a carnivore diet is going to help your sciatica. Yeah. Okay. It's going to decrease the chronic inflammation, not only in the bone and the connective tissue, but in the sheath around the sciatic nerve as well. When the sciatic nerve has more room, it's happier and it doesn't give you pain signals as readily. I can't tell you how many hundreds of people in our private community used to have low back pain, sciatic pain, leg pain, neuropathy, neuralgia, and they're like, dude, it's so much better. Thank you, Rick. Southern Joe's, difference between animal-based proteins and plant-based protein. That's a great question. Now, there are a lot of people out there who believe in a plant-based diet who will tell you that what I'm about to say is not true. It is absolutely, provably true that animal protein, egg protein, seafood protein is more digestible, is more bioavailable, and more bioabsorbable. This is inarguable when you talk to the actual experts in protein digestion. They'll say, oh, yeah. Now, it's not a huge amount. That's true. If you just stuff your gut with plants, higher protein plants 4 or 5 times a day, you can probably eke out adequate protein. But if you're trying to put on lots of muscle and make your bones stronger, you need animal protein. Absolutely. Dylan says, what childhood vaccines would you recommend, if any? This is something that we can't talk about on YouTube currently because of that political thing I mentioned earlier. We do talk about this in our private community. And so every now and then we'll have a question about vaccines and we talk about that there. But we don't talk about that on YouTube because you never know which way the wind is blowing. And I'm here to help as many people as I can improve their metabolic health. And I won't be able to do that if I no longer have a YouTube channel. Joshua, I'm 20 and have been doing keto for 4 months and haven't lost any fat. What could be the reason for this? Love your content, by the way. Keep up the Lord's work. So Joshua, I don't know what your exact issue is, but the most common issue with somebody who starts keto is that they're buying keto bread and keto pancakes and keto bars and keto shakes and keto bricks and keto syrup. None of that stuff's keto. All that stuff is bullshit. Okay. Keto, what the definition of keto is that you cover, if you've got a plate that you eat out of, you cover half that plate with fatty meat or eggs with the yolk or fatty seafood. And then half the plate is low carb vegetables. And then maybe a few low carb nuts and a few berries. That's keto. Okay. Keto bread is not keto. Duncan Hines keto cake mix is not keto. Betty Crocker cake frosting keto is not keto. It's bullshit. That's why I really have tried to move away from even using the word keto because it's been bastardized by the big food companies. They love to monetize. They're in business to make money. They're going to trick you into saying, oh, look, this is keto toilet paper. I'm not going to laugh at you or yell at you if you fell for it and you actually have a Duncan Hines keto cake mix in your cabinet right now. But I am going to tell you that's not keto, honey. That's never going to help you meet your health goals. Drinking protein shakes is not keto. That's never going to help you. If your goal is to lose fat. Josh, if you love meat and eggs, I would do 90 days of carnivore. Especially as a 20-year-old young man, just go carnivore. If money's an issue, you can buy ground beef, 70-30 ground beef when it's on sale at the grocery store and fill up your freezer. You can buy the 36 pack of eggs. It's like 44 cents an egg. You can buy cans of tuna, cans of salmon, and don't start being like, what about the mercury? No, come on. Joshua's trying to lose fat. He's not going to get enough mercury in his 20-year-old body to cause him any problems. What's causing him a problem right now is the metabolic syndrome he's suffering from because he's overweight. That's the most dangerous thing for Joshua. Try that, Joshua. See how that works. And then if that doesn't work after 90 days, then it's time to get your hormones checked. Jennifer, 66-year-old female, 2-year carnivore. Testosterone is 10. That's a little low. How much DHEA is safe to boost production of testosterone? So unlike men who really, you can take DHEA and it might raise your testosterone some. Some women, they can take 25 milligrams of DHEA and it'll raise their testosterone significantly. Most women feel best with a total testosterone somewhere between 30 and 100. So a testosterone of 10, you're probably lacking in the get up and go department. Probably a little anxious, probably have trouble sleeping, probably just don't have the drive and the get up and go that you want, Jennifer. Try 25 milligrams of DHEA. Try that for a month, once a day, and then get your testosterone rechecked. If that fixes it, great. If it doesn't fix it, then it's time to look at hormone replacement therapy with bioidentical hormones. Michelle, 6 months strict carnivore, down 32 pounds. You know anybody that needs to lose 32 pounds? Go carnivore for 6 months. Blood work, GGT 173, that's a little elevated. My doc says to see her again in 3 months. Is this a worry? It's not officially a worry, but you do need to go back and get it rechecked in 3 months. Make sure your doctor checks your AST and ALT as well. Yeah, that's elevated, definitely. But this is probably temporary. It's probably going to be much, much better when you recheck it in 3 months. David, if we can only afford the cheapest ground beef, $73.27, and some processed meat, should we seek supplements or is it not necessary? Most of the time, the cheap hot dogs and the cheap bologna are full of organ meat. They're full of liver, kidney, spleen, lung, heart, connective tissue. They're like a superfood. People don't realize this. They're like, oh, bologna, who knows what's in there? Yeah, it's organs. Bologna and hot dogs and other potted meat and other processed meat like that, it's like eating nose to tail. It's like you're a hardcore paleo carnivore person eating nose to tail, because it's probably got peckers and noses in there too. But if you're on a budget, if money's tight, 100% buy the cheapest ground beef you can find. Buy it on sale. Buy it 10 pounds at a time. Break it up into 2-pound chunks. Put it in the freezer. Find tuna fish and salmon on sale in the can, the cheapest one. I actually like the cheaper tuna and the cheaper salmon better because they're not the big tuna and the big salmon. They're typically smaller. That's why it's not just one solid hunk of meat. It's like chipped up. The bigger the tuna, the bigger the salmon, the more other fish they've eaten, the higher the mercury content. So don't buy the expensive tuna and the expensive salmon. Don't ever buy albacore tuna. Buy the cheap tuna and cheap salmon in water. Buy the cheap hot dogs. Buy the cheap bologna. Cheap ground beef. Buy eggs in bulk. If you buy 6 eggs, yeah, it's good. They're going to be probably $1 an egg. But if you buy the 30 count, no, 36 count, I think so. I think that's how it is, 6 by 6. There'll be like 45 cents an egg. Okay. I just recently had a YouTube video about cheap carnivore, and I linked in the show notes to a lady who went on a cheap carnivore haul at the grocery store, and she wound up getting a ton of meat and eggs. Just watch her video. You'll see how to do it. If you've got enough money that you're not literally broke, you can eat a carnivore diet. Good question. Anthony, plain Greek yogurt and maple syrup. Good snack. Maple syrup is pure sugar. It's literally pure sugar. Maple syrup has more fructose than high fructose corn syrup. Why do some people think maple syrup or honey is good for you? It is literally pure sugar and has more fructose than the high fructose corn syrup in Coca-Cola and Pepsi. No, Anthony. Now, if you find full fat Greek yogurt, then yeah, that's fine. If you want to put a few drops of stevia or monk fruit for now, because I don't mind if you guys use the non-nutritive sweeteners to get off sugar. But what everybody needs to realize is it's not normal to think you need something sweet every meal. Every drink should be sweet. I need a dessert after every meal. I need some maple syrup in my yogurt. No, you've been trained to think that. You've been brainwashed to think that. Think about that. Let's go back in time 1,000 years. How often did you have honey? Once a year? Maybe twice a year, depending on where you lived in the world. How often did you have maple syrup 1,000 years ago? Not a single time in your life did you have maple syrup. How often did you have something sweet? About 1 or 2 weeks out of the year when the berries were ripe and the fruit was ripe. You ate all that stuff for 1 or 2 weeks out of the year. For the rest of the year, you didn't eat anything sweet at all, ever. You've been brainwashed. The thought that you need something sweet every meal, that every drink needs to be sweet, every cup of coffee needs some sweetener, every glass of tea needs some sweetener. That's propaganda, because they know if they keep you using the artificial sweeteners, that one of these days you'll mess up and you'll give up and you'll be back to eating the Lucky Charms and the Fruit Loops. I'm not saying stop all the sweeteners cold turkey, Anthony. I'm saying let's wean them down. Maple syrup is natural. Yeah, so is rat shit. Okay. Honey is natural. So is lizard shit. I don't recommend you eat any of that stuff. The most expensive Manuka honey you can buy at Whole Foods Market, it's like $80 an ounce. It's pure sugar. Sorry.
Is it done okay?
So far, it seems like it's doing well. Have you guys noticed any lag in the video? Tell me in the comments if you have, yes or no. It seems like it's doing okay. I think I may have fixed it. Papa Hood, can you speak on Dr. Saladino, Carnivore Code book recommending 300 to 400 grams of carbs now and less fats, about 21%? I disagree with Dr. Saladino. He's my friend. I've interviewed him on my YouTube channel several times, on my Facebook page several times. I've been on his channel. We agree about a great many things, but I completely and totally disagree with him about this. I don't think there's any evidence to support what he's saying with regards to this. Not sure why he's saying it, but I think he believes it. I don't think he's trying to trick anybody. I think he's earnest. I think he's honest. I just don't agree with him. And when I talk to people who have tried this, invariably when they join our community, they're like, yeah, I tried that fruit and honey thing and I gained 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds, because honey is pure sugar. Maple syrup is pure sugar. Fruit juices are pure sugar. Now, when you eat fruit whole, you are getting the fiber, yes, and that will slow down your blood sugar spike. That's true. Now, notice I didn't say it would stop the blood sugar spike. It'll just slow it down. It would be like taking a bottle of Jack Daniel's bourbon and putting some fiber in it, and then marketing that to alcoholics and saying, yeah, it's got alcohol in it, but the fiber slows the alcohol down. Does that make any sense? Or we could start cutting the crystal meth that you buy on the street. We could start cutting that with fiber and be like, yeah, it's much less. It's better than regular crystal meth. It's got fiber. It slows down the high. Too much sugar from any source is going to cause glycation and inflammation. This is biology. This is physiology. That is undebatable by anybody who has dug into this enough. It's just you can't even debate that. Like I said earlier, humans have always eaten fruit and honey and berries. Every time we found them, we ate them all. But we did it for the same reason that the bears do it, to gain weight for the winter. That's why we eat them. They're sweet. They taste good. The plants want us to eat the fruit and the berries at a certain time. This is just botany and human physiology. There's no argument here from anybody who's really looked into this. But I like Paul and I respect Paul. And I think eating Paul Saladino's diet is way the hell better for you than a standard American diet. Ellen, how bad is hysterosalpingogram to the body? Not bad at all. I've actually performed these back when I was a radiologic technologist. My fertility specialist is kind of pushing me to have it. You have to have this to see if your fallopian tubes are patent or not. to rule that out as to why you can't get pregnant, or to rule it in and then do something about it. I'm Ketovore and my husband is strict carnivore. This is part of the workup for infertility is a hysterosalpingogram. Now, not all docs will do that, but it is still officially in the workup. So you're probably going to benefit from it if your doctor recommended it. Kenna just had a lipid panel done and doctor is concerned. Triglycerides are still high at 195. LDL is high at 302. HDL is 64, which is pretty darn good. 18 months Ketovore. A1C is still pre-diabetic. Suggestions. Stay strict Ketovore, which is under 10 total grams of carbs a day. Make sure you stick to that and then recheck these. You probably just haven't given the diet long enough yet. The triglycerides are going to come down. As soon as you get them under 150, that's normal. Down closer to 100 is ideal. Your HDL is already great. I honestly don't care what your LDL is, especially for a woman. I think it's completely irrelevant what your LDL cholesterol is. Recheck the A1C after 3 months of strict under 10 total grams of carbs a day. That's the definition of keto. Michael, been on carnivore since May 6th. I've been on a weight stall for 1 month. Now, it's not officially a stall until you haven't lost fat in 3 months. So this is a temporary weight loss pause. I ate ribeye, ground beef with coffee, 1 packet of Splenda. Is it the Splenda? And maybe you just haven't given your body long enough. Start using the Splenda every other day and keep weaning the Splenda down like that. Or you can just start using half a pack where you would normally use a whole pack. Because I think in some people, the sweet flavor of the Splenda, even though it's sugar-free, is going to raise your insulin due to the cephalic phase insulin response. I don't think it does that to everybody, but I think some people it does. And if you're somebody who fattens easily or who loses weight super, super slowly, I would wean down and stop all the sweeteners. If your weight loss hasn't picked back up after 3 months of what I just said, then it's time to go get your hormones checked, get a full thyroid panel, get your sex hormones checked. But I predict in another month, as you wean the Splenda and as you make sure you're not using any sugar-containing condiments or sauces or rubs, the fat loss is going to start. Hey, here's AJ, my Twitter buddy. I'm a little over 1 year carnivore with 95% intake being beef and eggs, no problems, all wins. Is there a deficiency I should be looking out for? Stopped all supplements after my gut healed. If they're pastured eggs, AJ, right? Because an egg will make an entire chicken, including the liver and including the heart, and including the pancreas and the spleen and the kidneys and the brain. So if a chicken that lays the eggs, if it's eating its natural diet, out scratching in the leaves, scratching in the grass, then I think that egg's probably going to give you virtually everything you need. But I still think you ought to add some liver and some heart every now and then. 2 ounces of liver once a week. You can take a desiccated liver supplement. I don't think that's as good, but I think it's better than not getting any liver at all. Iodine, vitamin D3, vitamin K2, those are the ones that I kind of worry about. And the main reason I worry about that is because we've so misfarmed our land, especially here in the United States, for so many generations. And I mean hundreds of years we've misfarmed, that the soil's played out and either doesn't contain a lot of the minerals or it doesn't contain the fungal bacterial life it should. So the minerals are locked up in the rocks and in the soil. And you just don't have access to that. It doesn't grow into the vegetables. It doesn't grow into the grass that the cow will eat or the chicken will eat. And so you can't have access. And so that's why I came up with the daily mineral drops that I helped create with Keto Chow, because a lot of the foods we eat, if you grow it in soil that's been farmed out, it's not going to have the minerals in there. But that's really it, AJ, is iodine, vitamin D3, vitamin K2, and then some of the minerals. But if you're eating grass-fed liver or taking a liver supplement, I think you're going to be fine. You don't need to take any supplements. Get out and play in the sun with no clothes on, or, maybe leave enough clothes on so you don't get a misdemeanor. But yeah. Panda Express. Hey, Doc, I eat mostly bacon, beef, eggs, and fish, including 2 to 3 cups of organic whole milk daily. Is that okay? It depends. Are you a child? Are you 3, 4, 5, 6 years old? If you are, then I think this is a perfect diet for you. But if you're older than about 7 or 8 years of age, this much milk a day that's gonna be hyperinsulinemic. It's going to be inflammatory. It's going to cause you to store fat. Milk is made to make mammals grow. And if you're a baby mammal, then you can grow. But if you're an adult mammal, you're going to grow. Most people don't want to grow. If you've already peaked out at your height, there's no reason to be drinking milk. I know it's delicious. I freaking love it. I would drink a glass right now, but it makes my insulin go up. It makes me start to have a belly, a little belly Dunlapped over the belt. And it makes my blood sugar go up. All milk, even organic whole milk, contains lactose, which is made up of glucose and galactose. Even raw milk contains lactose. It's a sugar. It's made to make baby mammals put on weight. That's what milk is for. Also contains casomorphins, which are habit forming. Casomorphin kind of sounds like morphine. That's because it hits the pleasure receptors in your brain. Some cheeses actually concentrate the casomorphins, making the cheese even more hyper-palatable, even more addictive. I love dairy, so you got to understand that. I'm not like I've never liked milk. I'm just going to bash it. I freaking love milk. I grew up on milk. Milk is made for baby mammals. The vegans are right about this. This is one thing they're right about. If you're still growing in height, then drink milk. If you've maxed out on your height, if your growth plates are closed, you're not going to get any taller. The only thing milk can do is make you fat to some degree. Sorry, I know. Broke my heart when I figured it out too, but it's true. Andy, a good friend, mid-50s, is 500 pounds, swollen spleen, low platelet count, wants to go carnivore, but when he tries, his gallbladder reacted to the high fat. Gallbladder went away. Oh, the gallbladder discomfort, pain, yeah. So, Andy, your friend, this is life or death for your friends. I think you probably already know that. If your friend does not either adopt a ketogenic diet, a ketovore diet, or a carnivore diet, you're going to lose your friend in a month, a year, a decade. Your friend's not going to live much longer. Mid-50s already at 500 pounds, guarantee you he's hyperinsulinemic, guarantee you he's pre-diabetic, fatty liver, all the stuff. What he's going to have to do, so he's been eating a low-fat diet because that's what they told him to do to lose weight. And so his gallbladder, the wall of your gallbladder is made of smooth muscle. And every time you eat fat, that muscle contracts and constricts the gallbladder. Your friend never eats fat, and so his gallbladder's floppy and loose and weak. And so when he does eat fat, it contracts and it feels like a cramp and it hurts. He's going to have to slowly but surely, over the course of a few weeks, he can't go keto or carnivore overnight or it's going to cause that pain. Still not dangerous, but I understand he didn't want that pain. He's going to have to just cut the carbs, cut the highly processed carbs first, cut the added sugar shit first, cut the grains out, get rid of the vegetable oils, and slowly increase the ground beef and the eggs with the yolk. He's going to start to lose weight. He's going to start to reverse his metabolic syndrome. His spleen, all this stuff's going to get better. Andy, if you stick with this and you approach your friend with this and you help your friend with this, you do understand that you're literally going to save your friend's life. Yeah, that's what's about to happen. But you can't let your friend give up and say, I tried keto, it hurt my gallbladder, I can't do it. No, no. I talked to Dr. Berry. He told me how to help you do it. Let's do this together because I like you. I love you. You're my friend. I don't want you to die. I don't want you to have a heart attack or a stroke and be in the nursing home. Andy's going to be a good friend. He's going to help his friend. Miss Infinity, how to get copper on carnivore. So eggs have copper. Meat has copper. Lots of different things on a carnivore diet have copper. Okay. Pastured eggs are going to have more copper. Not too much copper. Some people are scared to death of copper in their diet. Copper's a micro mineral, and we need a little bit of it. If you can get pastured beef that's been pastured for at least 70 or 80% of its life, it's going to have copper in the meat. So you're like, well, that's grass fed. That's expensive. No. The cheapest ground beef you can buy at the discount supermarket ate grass for 70 or 80% of its life. Only the last few weeks do they bring him into the feedlot and fatten them up. They couldn't keep them in the feedlot their whole life. It's too expensive. The cheapest, the stick of ground beef that looks like a stick of bologna. That was grass fed for 70 to 80% of its life. It's going to have copper in it. It's going to be fine. You don't need to eat vegetables to get copper. Good question. Vincent, we need more info on a proper human diet for those with acute chronic pancreatitis, pancreatic insufficiency, and similar issues. Can we benefit from a proper human diet? 100%. Yeah. The thing that causes pancreatitis is too much alcohol, too much fructose, too much chronic gut inflammation from the ultra processed crap that you buy in the center of the supermarket. We've got several people in our private community who used to have just recurrent chronic pancreatitis. And now that they're meat heavy keto or ketovore or carnivore, they just don't have it anymore. They stopped the alcohol, stopped all of the unnecessary prescription and over-the-counter drugs, and they eat mostly meat, or they eat all meat, and they just don't have pancreatitis anymore. It's kind of funny. It's like when you feed the human body what you're supposed to, like a species appropriate diet. It's like all this crazy shit that happens to our body just kind of quits happening at such a high frequency. It's kind of cool, but also kind of weird to some people. They're like, that can't be right. Again, 89 Bort, can I stick to carnivore if I have AFib? Yes, you're still a human. You're going to benefit from eating a proper human diet. Yes, absolutely. A lot of people in our private community used to have chronic AFib, and now that they're meat-heavy keto or ketovore or carnivore, they just don't have the AFib, the runs of AFib, the episodes of AFib like they used to. In many cases, they're able to decrease or even stop their AFib medicine with the help of their doctor, of course. Oh, what's this community you keep speaking of? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I have been dropping. So we have a private community. We got thousands of people in this community. People who need support. People who have got a family that won't help them. People who've got friends that are like, just eat what you want. Life's too short. I mean, no. Yeah, exactly. Life's too short. Why do you want to have metabolic syndrome and be obese and have type 2 diabetes and get a foot amputated and have kidney failure and go blind? Life's too short for that shit. I totally agree. So if you don't have any support, if you don't have a friend you can do a proper human diet with where you live, you can join our community. I think it's $15 a month or $30 a month, you choose. But you will find in real life people inside of our group. We got people from every continent except Antarctica. I'm trying to get somebody to sign up. Not many people live there. Maybe one day we'll have a tribe member. But when you join this tribe, you have an immediate support group of people who are like, oh yeah, dude, I had that same thing. I don't have that anymore. Let me tell you how I did it. we have people in there that used to have gallbladder attacks when they tried to eat keto. They could literally take your friend by the hand and say, yeah, it used to happen to me. Here's how I ramped it up so that I didn't have gallbladder attacks. If you need support, some people don't need support. Some people are like mountain lions. They're like, I got this. I don't need no help. That's how I am. More power to you, my friend. Go do it. But some people need some support because their spouse is not supportive. Their friends are not supportive. Their family's trying to literally sabotage their diet. Their mother-in-law is like, I made this strudel. And you're like, why did you make me strudel? I'm trying to get healthy. I know you love it. If you need support, our community is here for you. Our tribe, our worldwide tribe of people who help each other stick to a proper human diet. We'd be happy to have you join. James, bacon is what's for dinner, about 9 to 10 ounces. Feel great. Sugar from 126 down to 92 in 30 days. You got prediabetes. You got type 2 diabetes. Eat more bacon and eat less whole grains, and your blood sugar will come down. Well done, James. Keep it up. Keep it up. Stoner, why does this way of eating make my chronic pain 3-level fusion in spine as well as the surgeon wanting to fuse my neck? Why does it hurt me so bad? No idea, Stoner. Maybe you should just eat the standard American diet. Maybe that's the diet for you. There's nothing about a proper human diet that's going to make your pain worse. That doesn't even make good sense. Yep, we already got that one. All right, guys, I'm going to be here a few more minutes. If you got a question, now is the time to ask it. We've got several of our coaches from our private community. They're in the chat right now. They have a little blue wrench beside their name. They're trying to answer as many beginner questions as they can. Donna says, what about healing glaucoma? There's several different causes of glaucoma. Some are anatomical, some are inflammatory. If your glaucoma is inflammatory in nature, then adopting and sticking strictly to a proper human diet is going to help you. Now, I keep dropping that phrase, proper human diet, and you're like, okay, it sounds great, but what the hell is that? Down in the show notes on Facebook and YouTube, there's a link. You can get my free guidebook. It's literally free. I'll email you a copy. It's about 20 pages long, and it goes through all 11 principles of what a proper human diet is. You can get your free copy. Just click the link. I'll email you a copy. And then if you, like our earlier questioners, like how can I help other people? How can I help the kids? When you get my proper human diet guidebook, if you want to take it to the library and make 100 copies, you have my permission. If you want to print off 3 or 4 copies instead of just 1 copy and take a copy and leave it at church or leave it at the local library or leave it at the local post office or take it to your friend who weighs 500 pounds or take it to your friend who has type 2 diabetes, you have my permission to do that. I'm not, they're free. I'm not trying, I have a copyright on it, but I'm never going to enforce that. If you wanted to make 350 million copies and mail one to every citizen in the United States or any country, you have my permission to do that. That's how we're going to save the world, is one person at a time. Nancy says, I got this. I saw a Dr. Berry carnivore video one day, and I started a strict carnivore way of eating the next day. I love it and am thriving in my 3rd year. Nancy, look at Nancy's profile picture. Look how happy she is. 3 years of meat and eggs. She's not dead. She hasn't had a heart attack or a stroke. She's thriving. Huzzah, Nancy. Well done. Well done. Yep. For some people live plain. Coffee's full of oxalates. Coffee's full of phytochemicals. I can drink coffee. It doesn't cause inflammation. I've experimented with a month of no coffee. I did 3 months of no caffeine, decaf coffee. I can't tell I don't feel any better without coffee. And so I drink coffee. But some people, coffee will raise their blood sugar. Some people, coffee will raise their triglycerides. Some people, coffee will cause joint inflammation, gut inflammation, skin inflammation. Yeah. This is one of the many things we talk about in our private community. I'd say about 1 or 2% of people in our community, they can't drink coffee or it causes inflammation. The other 98%, they can drink coffee just fine. But that's things we experiment with in our private community. Yeah, Punch Kent. One thing, while all 3,500 of you guys are watching, if you buy something at the supermarket or any store that you're going to eat and it has a label, read the damn ingredients. It's your fault if you eat some crap because you didn't read the ingredients. Okay? They've got cinnamon toast crunch bacon now. So don't think, oh, I bought some bacon, I'm sure it's fine. Read the ingredients. Read the nutrition facts. How many total grams of carbs is in a serving? Is the serving size reasonable? Unlike the American Diabetes Association, when they give you a cookie recipe and they're like, oh, just eat one cookie and the cookie's this big around. And you're like, you think I'm going to eat just this? That's it. You think? That's dumb. So it needs to be a rational serving size. So for bacon, it needs to be 3 rashers or 3 strips of bacon. That's a normal size serving. Now, I eat 9 or 12, but a serving size, as listed on the container, should be 3 strips of bacon. If that has less than 1 gram of carb, there you go. Or if it has 1 gram or less of total carbs, that's totally fine. Put it in your cart. Cream cheese contains fillers. Yeah. A lot of cheese contains sawdust. Okay. If it says cheese food or cheese product, American cheese food product, that's only 51% cheese. It's 49% fillers. That's what the federal law in the United States says it can be. And often that filler is cellulose. And you would think, well, I'm sure they get the cellulose from celery or, somewhere like that. No, they get the leftover tree fiber from paper mills, cardboard box factories. I'm sure they sanitize it and sterilize it, but they grind that shit up and put it in the cheese. 100%. It's wood. Yeah. If you buy cheese at the store, it needs to be full fat and it needs to just say cheese. That's it. If it says cheese food, cheese product, that's not 100% cheese. By federal law, it only has to be 51% cheese. Read the labels. Tillamook is a good brand. It's pure, I think it's full fat or maybe double fat cream cheese. Yep, you're right. Read the labels, guys. You got to read the labels. B. Metzi. I have residual pain from a car accident in one leg. I get major cramping during the night sometimes. What is the best thing to eat to help remedy this? You may just need more electrolytes. You may need more magnesium. Maybe you need more potassium. Could be that you're not salting your food enough. If you don't salt your food to taste, you can have leg cramps from that. Try that and see if that doesn't help. Mouthy Mama, I like you already. My 11-year-old granddaughter's in the hospital. They say she has non-alcoholic cirrhosis. 11 years old. Now, she might have a genetic condition that made her have cirrhosis. But if her cirrhosis is caused if it's just fatty liver that's turned into hepatitis and now cirrhosis, they will only feed her sugar and carbs in the hospital. See, this is the shit, guys. I've had enough of this. Mouthy Mama needs to go up in that hospital and throw a fit. Fatty liver is caused by alcohol, over-the-counter medicine, prescription medicine, and then what's the next one on the list? Sugar and starch. That's what causes fatty liver. Guarantee you she's overweight, the granddaughter. I would go up in that hospital and I would throw a fit. I'd probably get arrested because they're literally poisoning her with the pancakes and the syrup and the little sugar pops cereal. Yeah, they're literally poisoning her. You have got to get this girl on a low carb diet. The lower carb, the better. But at least low carb, under 100 total grams a day, no added sugar, no grains at all. Her liver will start to heal. Now, I don't know how advanced her cirrhosis is. Maybe she may have some permanent damage, but you're going to stop any further damage by getting the sugar out of her mouth. I bet they give her orange juice to drink. Literal liver poison. Might as well give her a Coca-Cola. I'm so sorry you're having to contend with this, Mouthy Mama, but it's time for you to make your handle true to your name. You need to go in that hospital and throw a holy fit. Orange juice, that's going to make her liver worse. Any soft drink's going to make her liver worse. Pancake syrup, biscuits, bread, all that's going to make her liver disease worse. She needs very, very low carbohydrate foods. And her liver will begin to heal. Maybe not all the way, but it's going to heal. I haven't. Sam says, can you speak on Dr. Rhonda Patrick saying that high fiber and sulforaphane can excrete microplastics, PFASs, and BPA from your body? I have not heard Dr. Patrick say this. I've been listening and learning from Dr. Patrick for years, especially in the first few years I was doing this. I've come to disagree with her more and more in the last few years. I will look into this because we all got microplastics in our body, in our nanoplastics in our body. Probably have it in your brain. Every time they look for nanoplastics or microplastics in the human body, they find it. Every single tissue they've looked, even the human placenta, even human brain, human testicles, they all have microplastics. I have not read any research that in any way even hints that eating fiber or vegetables that contain sulforaphane can cause the microplastics to leave your body. I'll look into this. I hope she's right. I hope there's research that supports this. Because I don't talk about the microplastics and nanoplastics much because it's depressing. We'll talk more about that another day. Elizabeth says, do you have a video that speaks specifically to someone that has had heart surgery? I don't think so, but I do have videos about high blood pressure, which can cause a heart attack or heart problems. I have videos that can help you reverse type 2 diabetes, which can cause heart disease and heart attacks. I have YouTube videos that can help you reverse fatty liver disease, which can lead to heart attacks and heart disease. So all those videos are going to help somebody who's had heart surgery, regardless of why they had heart surgery, regardless of their diagnosis. They need to be eating a proper human diet. Thank you, Paul. Edna, why did I break out with itchy red spots after starting carnivore? This is called oxalate dumping. And this is a temporary short-term thing that happens when you first start carnivore. If you've been eating a high oxalate diet, your body's like, oh, thank God we're not eating all those oxalates anymore, and your body starts to dump them. And sometimes you can get a temporary rash. People used to call this keto rash, but it's probably temporary oxalate dumping. It's not dangerous. It's short-lived. Keep going. Thank you, Blue Rose Lion. Paul, my total cholesterol is 357, HDL 51, trigs 114, LDL 286 or 287, A1C 5.1. Yes. CRP CRP is 4.29 and my homocysteine is 18.9. Anything I need to do to lower these. Your HDL and your triglycerides are great. Your A1C is great. Depending on which reference lab you got it checked out, your CRP is either normal or high. Homocysteine's a little high. This is nothing to freak out about. Keep eating a proper human diet and get these numbers rechecked in 3 months. Miss Infinity, keto good for mitochondrial issues, CFS and long COVID. Yeah, 100%. Keto, meat heavy keto, real whole food keto. No keto cakes and keto pies. No keto shakes. Real whole food keto. And if you don't know what that is, my Proper Human Diet guidebook that you can get free, there's a link in the show notes. Just click that link and I'll email you a free copy. That'll tell you what real keto is. It's not keto cake and keto frosting. That's not real keto. Cody, I am a human with many conditions. Is a proper human diet right for me, or should I question being a human? If you are in fact a human, Cody, then much as the proper bovine diet for a cow is grass, then the proper human diet for you is a meat heavy, low carb or keto or ketovore diet, or just an all meat carnivore diet. Somewhere on that spectrum is where your proper human diet is. Some people, you can do a low carb diet with lots of seafood and eggs. For some people, that's perfect. Some people got to cut the carbs even more, down to 50 total grams, or even lower. Keto, 20 total grams. Ketovore, 10 total grams. I have to stay very close to carnivore or I'll start to gain weight. I'll start to become pre-diabetic. That's just where I'm at with my genetics and my gut microbiome and my age and other stuff. I got to be a carnivore. All right, guys, that's it. I'm out of here. If you want more of this, then please join our private community. That's the address right there. It's on my website. If you want a copy of the guidebook, it's drbarry.com/guidebook, or there's a link in the show notes. Join our community. We do 3 or 4 extra live Q&As a week inside our community. We have coaches who are certified in there who do live Q&As. We have guests like Dr. Westman, like other healthcare practitioners like Professor Bickman, who come into the group and just answer questions for our tribe members. So if you need that support, we're waiting for you.